Now, if you've ever been sat in a lecture just like I was 2 years ago, thinking to yourself, why am I even here? What am I doing here? Why am I even listening to this guy tell me information that I'm never going to use? Then this video is for you, because I'll teach you how to actually make money with Forex trading so that you can eventually drop out of university. I made a simple visual that walks you through the entire journey that most people will go through, from learning how to trade at university to eventually becoming full-time traders and quitting university and living your dream life. And just a heads up before I get into the video, I've launched my first ever free Discord. So if you want to get involved and learn how to escape your 9-to-5, escape university and become a trader, hit the link below and I'll see you guys inside. So guys, let's get right into it and I can teach you how to escape your university degree. So guys, let me explain to you the journey that every single Forex trader will go through at university and how to actually make sure that you can drop out. Because trust me, I can guarantee you that if you're watching this video, the fact you even clicked on this video proves to me that you don't want to be in university. And the key to escaping university, to getting out of that 9-to-5 system, is to learn how to trade, and I'll teach you that in this video, okay? Now quickly, who am I? That's me there on the right. This is actually me there in Thailand when I first moved to Thailand. And actually you can see there, I just requested a payout with one-on-one funding at this picture. So yeah, very iconic picture for me, that one. Very, very good. I remember that day exactly. And yeah, who am I? I'm funded over 500k. I'm not sure why it says 500k. I think it's meant to say 500k funding in 1 year after dropping out of university, because that's basically what happened for me. I dropped out of university, and then in that period from dropping out to a year after that, I became 500k funded. So yeah, and I traveled the world at 20 years old. I'm currently 21, living in Thailand. I've been here for over a year. Started trading actually 4 years ago, but this is very important, okay? And you need to understand that my journey in trading started 4 years ago, but that technically wasn't really the beginning, because I was just copying signals. I wasn't really taking it seriously. I only started to really take it seriously when I was at university, and that's when, in that year, I was able to go and actually drop out, right? In those 3 years before I took it seriously, I saw literally no progress and I was wasting all of my time. And then I locked in, dialed my systems, and then I could drop out from university after my first year, okay? And you can see here, I went from actually losing a lot of money to then making 10k or more every single month from trading, okay? So that's just a bit about me. Now what we'll cover, okay, how to actually balance university and trading. That's a super important one, because obviously when you're at uni, you're gonna have pressure. And this is the problem that people don't wanna, face or admit. They think trading's meant to be easy for some reason. People think that money's meant to be easy. They think, why do I need to do all of this work to become successful? Well, that's the part of being successful. If it was easy, everybody would do it. And that's what I think people don't really understand. People say they want to work hard, but they don't want to put in the work. And then they blame people for their own failures, when it's down to them, okay? And the key to success at university in this example is to have a balance from uni and trading. You can't focus on just one, okay? You need to have a balance, because, for example, if you're just at university and you're not trading, you're not going to be a trader, bro. But at the same time, if you're trading, but you're also not going to uni, you're going to get kicked out of uni. And then you're just going to be depressed and you're going to be thinking, I've just wasted all my time and my money. So you have to find a balance, okay, which I'll get into. Now, also how to find a profitable strategy, which is actually a lot more simple than people actually think. And I'll explain this in probably 30 seconds at some point in the video. The main challenges of learning at university, because guys, there's gonna be a lot of challenges. The entire process to go from 0 to a 6 or 7 figure funded trader, and who I've helped actually do the same, because I've got people who are actually in my community who have been able to drop out of university, who have been able to quit the 9-to-5 jobs, who actually are moving out to Thailand very soon to trade full time, just like me. Now guys, I need to mention the sponsor of today's video really quickly, GFT. As you guys can see, they have a discount right here, 25% off. All you need to do is literally go onto their website, which will be linked below, press claim 25% off, fill out your email, and that will get you the code. Now, when it comes to getting yourself a challenge, they've got a wide variety of different challenges. You can do instant funding accounts as well. You can do 1 steps here. You can do 2 steps here. And one more thing, you can also use MetaTrader 5. Now, a lot of prop firms, they don't have the tech to use MetaTrader 5, but GFT does, which is for me a very big selling point. I only actually trade with MetaTrader 5 accounts, okay? Because I just don't like TradeLocker or anything else. But there you go, they have MetaTrader 5. So, and like I said, the link will be in the description. And then also, who's this video for? Okay, this is for people who aren't consistently profitable. Obviously, if you're already profitable, probably not worth watching this video. And it's also for people who are ready to put the time in to learn a new skill that will change their life. Because like I said, trading did change my life, guys. And you can do it as well. I'm just an average guy who learned how to trade, okay? Nothing special. Now, it's also for people who are studying at university and want to quit. And I know that's all of you watching this video, okay? If you're at university, you will probably realize, if you haven't already, that it's a waste of time. And I would honestly say that 90% of people who go to university, they're gonna end up in the same job that they could have got without a degree. And they've just wasted 3 years of their life for no reason. And the harsh truth is, and the sad reality is that people only realize this too late, okay? And I feel sorry for you if that's you. So hopefully it's not you, because honestly, guys, with all of the success I have now and all of the people I know, I don't think a single one's actually completed uni. So if that doesn't tell you something, then I don't really know what will. Because ask this for yourself. Why doesn't your university teacher have a Bugatti, have a Lamborghini, have a Mercedes AMG, right? They don't even have anything. Some of them probably take the bus. So why is this? It's because university and the normal 9 to 5 route of going to school, getting a degree, going to a job does not work. In this day and age, there's so many ways to make money online. That's not the best way anymore. Facts. It's not the best way. And if you're only at university just because your parents want you to go, then you're there for the wrong reasons. For example, that's why I was there. I was only there to impress my dad and my mum, okay? And then I quit, and I realized, okay, so I just wasted all my time, and I could have just been making money from the beginning if I just learned how to trade 2-3 years ago, taking it seriously, but I didn't, because I was there in university, at school, in secondary school, wasting my time, okay? And it's also for people who are ready to follow guidance, because of course, like I said, right, trading is not going to be easy. It's going to be tricky. You're going to need to push yourself. And if you're not ready to follow guidance and learn the correct things, you're not going to be successful. So just, bro, come off the video. If you're someone who's lazy and, you know, isn't willing to skip nights out, as you can see there at the bottom, and isn't willing to focus on their goals, then forget it, right? You're not built for this life. And it's harsh, but it's true, because all of the successful people that I know, right, they've had to, you know, cut out nights out. They've had to do stuff they didn't want to do because they've had a long-term vision. So if you're somebody who doesn't have a long-term vision and isn't ready to do this, then just forget it. You're not going to make it. And that's harsh to say, but it's true. Like, I'm not one of those guys who's just going to beat around the bush and be like, oh yeah, you might be able to make it, blah, blah, blah. Bro, no, you're not going to make it. If you're not putting in the effort, right, you're not going to make it, bro. So forget it. Like, it's harsh, but it's true, okay? Because that's the way to become successful. You're not going to become successful by watching my videos and, you know, magically become a trader, bro. That's not how it works. And anyone who tells you that is lying to you, okay? So, guys, let's get into it, okay? If I had to start trading again at university and become successful in 1 year, to drop out, this is exactly what I would do. So let's dive into it. Honestly, the most important thing, and without this, you're not going to make it, like I've said, is you have to dial in your habits, your lifestyle, and your mindset. You need to lock in. You literally need to lock in. Now, before you quit this video, before you think, oh, I've already heard this 1,000 times before, you haven't heard this, okay? This here was a picture, or sorry, not a picture. It was some, first of all, okay, look at how disgusting and bad of a poster this is. I was so poor, I was so in debt. I think this is like a piece of cardboard I must have found from one of my packages when I moved in there. And I just wrote on the back of it, no matter how bad it is, no matter how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. And I stuck this in front of my mirror, my dirty mirror that I had at my university in my disgusting small little apartment because I was too poor to afford a nice thing, right? I stuck that in front of my face every day. When I was brushing my teeth, you can see the toothpaste is there. This would be in my face. And I would say this to myself over and over again when I'm brushing my teeth, when I'm, you know, in the toilet, whatever. No matter how bad it is, I'm going to make it. Bro, I'm telling you guys, I was in the trenches, guys. I was literally in the trenches. But this is the thing. If you're not willing to go into the trenches and actually lock in and become a savage and actually like take this seriously, you're not going to make it, bro. Like your mentality needs to be that no matter how hard it gets, you're going to make it. And I truly believe that. Like, I promise you, if anyone is watching this video and you were at university at the same time as me, and you knew me personally, you knew I was locked in. Like, I was so unsociable, it was insane. My flatmates probably absolutely hated me, and they probably still do, okay? Because I didn't say hi to them. I would just basically do nothing. I'd avoid them because they're just like taking my energy, bro. Every time I go there and speak to them, I just get drained because of their 9-to-5 mentality, which just ruin my flow. So, bro, you gotta be locked in. Seriously, everything you do has to be dialed in, right? You know, and also give yourself here a realistic time frame to be successful, and then cut out bad habits, of course, right? You know, people speak about this all the time, okay? And in particular, porn should already be a no-go. Like, if you're still watching porn, what are you doing? Like, have you not actually grown up? Like, what are you doing? If you can't cut out habits like porn, sleeping with girls every day, going to clubs, you're not gonna be successful, right? And now you're probably thinking, why is this guy speaking about porn and sex and everything? Well, this is part of it. If you're gonna be someone who's a low life and can't contain their sexual energy and can't resist watching porn every day before they go to sleep, what makes you think? And I'm getting quite deep now, to be honest. But what makes you think you're gonna be successful? Like, honestly, like, take some time right now after this video to actually think about this, right? If you can't control your own sexual desires, then how do you ever think you're gonna have the mentality and the mindset to be able to actually be profitable in the charts? Because trust me, guys, trading and becoming profitable and having good psychology is 100 times harder than controlling your balls, bro. Like, seriously, like, if you can't do the basic stuff, like have good habits, live a good lifestyle, right? Control your desires, you're not going to make it. So before I even get onto the rest of the video, like, seriously, dial in your life. Because I say this to all of my community members as well. If you guys are lazy, if you're not a savage, like, literally, if you're not committed to this 100%, you're not going to make it. And I say this to them. I'm not one of those mentors. I'm not one of those, you know, gurus who's going to lie to you and say, bro, you're going to make it. You're doing well, blah, blah, blah. No, bro. Trust me. Yeah, you're not going to make it if you're not focused and if you're not locked in, right? And this is the thing. This is just honestly the truth. You know, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm just here to tell you guys, this is what you need to do to be successful, okay? Now, once that's done, once you're actually a savage and you're locked in, now it's time to find balance at university, okay? So, what I mean by balance at uni, right? Cut out the lectures that are not important. And when I say this, right, what I mean is that at university, especially in your first year, you're going to have, I would say, at least one lecture a day that's not important, right? You may think it's important because you're probably a nerd and you probably think, oh, I need to go to every lecture. If you're in your first year of university, you don't. I would argue you don't need to go to any lectures because I basically missed, I'd say, 70% of my lectures, maybe 65%, and I still passed uni from studying in the last month because it's easy. The first year, no matter what degree you do, is easy. I did accounting and finance. It was a hard sort of module, but I was able to do it because I'm not an idiot, and I just studied for 1 month before, and that was it. So if you're in your first year, that applies to you. If you're in your second or third year, then I do think there's going to be more difficulty for you because you obviously need to go to university and you can't miss out on loads of lectures. But at the same time, if you're going to every lecture, then when are you going to have the time to trade? So you need to seriously, you need to like think about this right now, right? What is more important for you? Getting this degree and getting yourself a 2-1 or I don't even know. Like, what's higher than a 2-1? Like a 1-1, a first? I'm not even sure. But what's more important to you? Becoming a full-time trader, quitting your 9-to-5, never working again, moving to Thailand, moving to Dubai, traveling, living your dream life, buying supercars, retiring your family, right? Is that more important to you? Or is it more important to you that you get a good degree so you can become a brokey and make 50k, 60k a year for the rest of your life? I know what one I wanted, bro. I know what one I wanted, and trust me, it was not working a 9-to-5, okay? This is like a bit off topic here, but you need to understand, like, honestly, money, when you get to a level, you start to realize that the facts university is even paid, the fact you even need to pay for university in itself is a scam. Like, people are going to be probably thinking, you know, oh, this guy's just an idiot, whatever. But trust me, in the grand scheme of things, university is an actual scam. University is a scam, okay? You're paying, like, probably in the course of your entire degree, if you're in England, at least like 100K, probably, you know, to get your degree. It's a scam. Because, right, with the knowledge I know now, with the knowledge that other people know who are in my circle and who are my friends, if we had 100K to put towards a business, do you understand? Or if we had 100K to invest into some education to learn how to start a business, right? Even just 5K of that, you could probably learn a super valuable skill, okay? And bro, you would literally make so much more money than if you were putting that money into university. Because having a degree does not mean you're going to be successful. Like, do you understand? It's all about supply and demand. If there's, for example, a huge supply, and there is a huge supply of people with accounting degrees, but a very small demand for it, right? Meaning only the highest level of accountants actually become successful and start to make over 100K, 200K a year, right? Then what makes you think that you're going to be in that little percentage that actually becomes successful and gets to get paid that? And if you do, you're going to be on that salary maybe when you're 30 or 40, but what's the point? Like, what's the point of having money, right, and being successful when you're super, super old, okay? Obviously, that's fine, but at the same time, you want your money when you're young. That's your prime. When you're 20, like me, 21, that's when you want to be making tens of thousands in a day or in a month from trading. So you need to understand, right? And I think this video might actually be really long. I did not expect it to be this long, but money is everywhere, bro. Like, you watching this video probably think that $1,000 is a lot of money. You probably think right now that, you know, if you were to go and spend $1,000, for example, on something, you might be thinking this is a lot of money. Now, to those of you watching this video, it is a lot of money, and I was there at a point where $1,000 is a lot of money. But you need to understand that when you can actually have a skill like trading, like drop shipping, like whatever else you want to do, obviously trading in this case, right? $1,000, you don't think about $1,000 as normal people do. You start to think about $1,000 as, oh, that's only 0.5% of my 200K funded account. Like, that's nothing, bro, right? If you're on a 400K funded account, that's 0.25%, okay? Like, money is everywhere. And you need to understand this. In order to become successful in anything you want to do, you need an abundance mindset so that you can become successful. Without believing that you can do it in the first place, without having an abundance mindset, you're not going to make it, because for you still think like a 9-to-5 brokey would think. Whereas if you can start to believe that money is literally everywhere, then you will attract it, okay? And you need to have this mentality while you're at university as well, so that you can become the person who is making 100K a month, who is a millionaire, who is a successful trader. But you need to believe it in your mind first, okay? Without believing it first, you're not going to make it. And that's just the harsh truth. So getting back on topic here, right? You have to dedicate at least 3 hours a day into trading, okay? And you also need a very good routine, organized calendar, so that you can stay on top of everything you're meant to be doing. So many people, and I repeat, so many people think that they're organized, but look, this here was my calendar, okay? I gave myself basically 7 or 8 months to escape the matrix. You can see here, right? This is like on Snapchat or something. How many weeks I have left to escape the matrix. I made this in November. This, by the way, in November is when I started my first ever trading mentorship. And yes, I paid for a mentor because I wasn't going to live like a brokey for the rest of my life. So why am I gonna not pay somebody and try and save a couple $1,000s to try to do it myself when, yes, I'm gonna be down with a couple $1,000s paying for this guy to learn, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna become successful quicker. And this is the thing. If you, even now to this day, I still pay for education, right? I pay for social media education to improve my social media accounts and everything, right? And there's nothing wrong with doing that. There's such a bad stereotype along paying for people to see success, right? Or to become successful in any skill. And what you need to understand is the only reason you believe that, right, is because you're broke. It's literally because you're broke and you can't afford it. I promise you, if you were making $10,000 a month, right, which isn't actually a lot of money, if you're making 10K a month and someone said to you, oh, do you want to buy my course for $5,000? Then, right, then it becomes a bit more reasonable because you're thinking, okay, what can this $5,000 investment do for me? Okay, potentially it could make me 100K a month. And then you're thinking, okay, so is it worth it? Yes, because I'm investing $5,000 to have the potential to making $100,000 a month. So the reason you're not doing this now is because you have nothing in your bank, right? Or you've got $5,000 in your bank. And now you're thinking, why would I invest $5,000 into this guy's course? Because that's all of my money gone. Well, yes, it's all of your money gone. And at the time, right, it was all of my money gone. My bank accounts were drained. But I understood it was either I invest money into a course and learn the information which can potentially scale up my life and change my life forever, or I don't invest this money into learning how to trade and I stay broke the rest of my life. Like, bro, it was a no-brainer for me, okay? It's for me the only way to be successful in trading. All of my trading friends have all paid for a mentor, and there's nothing wrong with that. The only reason you think there's a problem with it is because you're broke. Simple as that, okay? So, yeah, let's go back back on track to the strategy. When it comes to learning a strategy, okay, you want to learn one strategy. One strategy, bro. Stop learning different strategies. It's the wrong thing to do, and that's why you're not successful. Simple as that. Because think about it like this, okay? And I actually made a video on this the other day. It was a motivational video, and I used this analogy in this video. It was very, very good. I said, if you were in your third year of university, you're studying accounting, okay? Imagine quitting right before you get your degree. Right before that final exam, you decide, nah, you know what, I'm gonna quit and I'm gonna change a new subject and I'm gonna start again from the beginning. That is what it's like to change strategy a year or 6 months after learning that strategy, okay? It's the exact same thing. You've put in all of the effort to learn a strategy and you decide last minute, you know what, this strategy is not for me. Let's change it. It's a good idea, let's change. No, bro, it's a terrible idea and you've literally just wasted 1 year of your life for no reason. The worst thing you can do is change strategy. Trust me, okay? And the only reason you think in the first place to change strategy is because your mentality is weak. You don't believe in yourself enough to see success in that strategy, so you blame the strategy rather than blaming yourself. And then you start again from scratch. You need to learn a new strategy. You spend months learning that strategy. You don't see success. You change again, and you're never successful. That's the harsh truth. You're never successful because you change strategies too much, okay? Now, you can see the next point here. You don't need to watch thousands of videos covering different strategies, right? And yet again, it's because loads of strategies aren't important. All you need to do is learn from one person and learn their strategy, and that's it. Keep it simple. Why are you gonna make it more complicated for yourself than it needs to be, okay? And then the next thing is understand risk to reward ratio paired with success rate. If you can just get a good risk to reward ratio and a good success rate, you'll be successful, you'll be profitable. Okay, you don't need an 100% win rate. You don't need to have a crazy 1 to 100 risk to reward. Literally guys, if you can find a good middle ground, a good win rate, for example, might be 60%. If you can get a 60% win rate strategy, you are gonna be making a lot of money, okay? And you don't need an 100% win rate strategy. You literally don't need that. It's first of all not possible, okay? And second of all, it's not needed, right? You can see right here, this is a video of me learning on YouTube at the beginning of my journey, okay? And it doesn't actually show the date here, but this here would have not made me any money, right? This probably would have kept me unprofitable if I kept learning on YouTube like this, okay? And the reason why is because I was strategy hopping over and over again. This guy here, Magic FX, I don't know who he is. Probably some guy teaching me a strategy, right? And then guess what? After watching this, I would have learned someone else's strategy. I would have been confused. I would have been thinking, okay, do I listen to Magic FX or do I listen to Sal FX or Dan FX or whoever FX, right? Who do I listen to? And I'm confused. But the only thing you needed to really do, or I needed to do, which is what I did, is just learn one strategy. And that was it. And you can see in this picture here, this is when I paid for my first mentor, right? Then I learned the strategy. I made hundreds of notes, as you can see, from my computer right here, my desk and everything, right? And I back tested the hell out of the strategy. I journaled every trade. I forward tested, right? I made notes and I learned one strategy and then I became profitable. Simple as that, right? From here, from literally being useless at trading and strategy hopping on YouTube to here, learning from a mentor and dialing in my trading process, changed my trading, changed my life, and it literally made me thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars from literally just learning one strategy rather than trying to learn loads of different strategies. It's a waste of time, okay? Now, let's go back into this one here, into step number 4, I believe, right? So we've got habits, balance, trading, and backtesting, right? So yeah, step number 4 is of course going to be backtesting, right? This is where people rush and they fail. They fail, first of all, to even do backtesting in the first place. Backtesting is crucial, especially when learning a strategy. You do need to backtest for a certain amount of time, right? You need to make sure that you actually know what you're doing so that when you go into the charts, when you start demo trading, you're not just randomly taking trades, because if you're doing that, you're not going to make it. Like what are you doing? You have to backtest. You have to do all of these things to become successful. It's just a fact. Now, you need to get all of the reps in. You need to do at least 2 hours a day, even the weekends. If you take weekends off, you're a loser. I don't even take weekends off right now. Today's Sunday. It's Easter Sunday. I'm recording this video. I should be probably out like having dinner or something, right, with my friends. It's celebrating Easter, of course, right? I was at church earlier. That's enough for me. Now I look in again, I work, right? Because there's no rest. Like if you're actually resting on weekends, especially when you're not making any money, what are you doing? Like seriously, what are you doing? Like, bro, you don't care enough. You honestly don't care enough. If you're not working weekends, you don't care enough. You're not gonna make it, right? Now, journal every trade you take as well. Okay. Now, if you want a completely free guide, my completely free journal, right? Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it for free inside of my free community, which will be linked in the description. So join the Discord. I've started it very recently. I'll give you loads of free information, free source inside of the Discord, and hit the link below in the description if you want to join, okay? And I'll give you a free journal. I'll give you loads of other free information which you can use to become successful, right? So join that below. And also, it says here, you may need to spend a few months on this phase, and you need to be okay with that, right? You need to be okay with backtesting for a few months, demo testing for a few months. And this is the thing, people sometimes aren't okay with that. They think, why aren't I making money? I've paid to learn how to trade. Why am I not making money? If that's your mentality, you're not gonna make it, right? Like, trading is the same as university, right? You go to university and you pay money to learn a skill like accounting to one day get your degree, to one day get a good job, even though your job's gonna be shit, right? So trading's the same thing. You pay money to learn how to trade, to one day become profitable and make a shit ton more than your accounting degree would ever make you. So what makes you think that you should be making money from trading in the first month or 2 or 6 months or year? Why would you believe that, right? Trading, just like anything else, is going to take you a long time to learn. And you need to be okay with that, or else you're never going to be successful, okay? Now, the next phase, going for your challenge accounts. Once you're confident with your skills, once you've backtested, once you've demo tested, once you've locked in your mentality, your mindset, blah, 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 now you can go for a challenge account. I recommend you start with something small, okay? And for anybody who's inside of my inner circle, I give them a free challenge account so that they can test it out for themselves and they can practice on this before they go for a bigger one, okay? And when you're going for a small account, the reason why we do this in the first place and the reason why we give you this small account is so that I can speak you through the process, first of all, tell you what you're doing right, tell you what you're doing wrong. And second of all, instead of going for an 100K account, right, and blowing that and wasting loads of money, just go for a small one. And if you can pass the small one, then you clearly have the skills to go for a bigger one. So that's why you start with a small one, to practice the skill set, to then progress possibly for a bigger one. Now, it's also important to note, okay, that if you can get funded over 10K, then you can get funded over 100K. So yeah, perfect your skills, right? Because like I said, if you can pass a 10K, then yeah, you can pass 100K. But you of course need to pass a 10K first to know that you have the skill sets in the first place to pass the 100K, okay? And this here's a payout I just found is from the 3rd or the 17th of March. So like a few weeks ago with ACG, and yeah, that's a payout, right? So that's how payouts look, right? Of course, if you never got a payout, you know, that's obviously the goal for most people, to be able to get money from prop firms. And essentially that's how it works, right? You basically learn how to trade, okay? You go for a challenge account. If you can pass the challenge account, you can get funded. And then about 80% of your profits, which you make on that account, get paid into your bank account, okay? And then of course, that's when you start to make crazy money, right? And you know, once you can get payouts from prop firms, guys, the world is your oyster. And you're gonna start to realize very quickly that everything you were learning was a lie, right? Money, when you can trade, is just insane. And even to this day, there's way more I can be doing, right? But trust me, I'll get there because I know how to scale up my accounts. I know exactly what I'm doing. I've got a good strategy. And now it's just about timing. It's just about timing the market so that eventually, you know, these 2.7K payouts can turn into 27K payouts, right? But yeah, I'll get there eventually. And now on to the final stage, the funded life. When you can make it, guys, like I just said there, to be honest, your life will change, right? Like I said, okay, I was at university in 2023. Then I dropped out at the end of 2023, okay? Then I basically worked a 9-to-5 job for about 4 months after university, just to make sure I had enough money, you know, to start investing into some prop firm accounts. Then, while I was working those jobs, I was passing funded accounts. I had maybe, you know, a couple 100K passed at those 9-to-5 jobs. I quit the 9-to-5 jobs because I was making a shit ton more than my manager or anybody was making, to be honest. Bro, this is crazy, right? There was one day where I must have made a couple $1,000s at my 9-to-5, right? I was working at a pizza restaurant, okay? And then my manager said, oh, we're having a really bad day here. We've only made £1,000 for the entire shop for the day, right? And that was £1,000 cash collected, not even like profit, right? That was £1,000 of like revenue, not even profit, bro. £1,000 they made for the day. And I've made a couple thousand myself, all profit from my phone. And that's when I realized, fuck this, I'm getting out of here, bro. And then yeah, then I just left. I just literally told her like, okay, I'm leaving. And then I was done. And then my friend Jay, in about January, told me, bro, I'm gonna go to Thailand in April, do you wanna come? I was like, yes, bro, right? And Jay also trades as well. So then, me and Jay, couple 100K funded, moved to Thailand. Guys, seriously, man, it's just amazing. And I've been here ever since, bro. Ever since, I've just been here, just chilling. And you can literally do the same. If you're someone right now who is like thinking about, you know, learning how to trade, bro, just do it. Like, how are you not doing it? Seriously, the worst case scenario, right, is that trading doesn't work for you and then you go back to living like you were living before, like a brokey. Like, bro, seriously, guys. Like, just learn how to trade. It will change your life, honestly, right? The opportunities I have now are just insane, okay? And it's just because I learned how to trade, which put me in the position so that I can now learn new business models. I can learn, you know, from other people who are way more successful than me, okay? But it all starts from learning trading to begin with. So yeah, guys, now let me just quickly show you, okay? Oh, by the way, this here is me. I hosted my first ever trading event for my community back in January 2025, so like a few months ago. And it was just insane, right? The fact that 2 years ago, I was literally broke at university, right? 2 years later, I'm now hosting, honestly, one of the biggest trader events I've ever seen. Like, I'm not just saying that, but we gave away $1 million of challenge accounts here. And also one of my members, where is he? I can't see him, but one of the guys here won a trip on a private jet. And it's just insane, bro. The fact I could even do this in the first place is just fucking crazy, bro. It was mad. But yeah, guys, so let me show you a few people that I've helped. Okay, this here is Clev Clev was working 9 to 5 like everybody else. He's now over 500k funded, and I think he did this using my strategy in like 4 months or something ridiculous. Like, he joined my inner circle and he obviously learned how to trade, and then he went from, you know, nothing to literally getting his own apartment now, and he's trading full time. So it's crazy. Now Ivan here is actually coming to Thailand with me very soon. He's passed a 200k. You can see here, this is back in April. So the 6th of April, actually only like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, he passed a 200k of FTMO, and yeah, he said to me he might be coming out to Thailand soon. So it's crazy. Casper's actually an insane trader. He's, I believe, like 600k funded, absolutely crazy. Now this is just a few examples here of, you know, a few people who are in the community, but they're not necessarily like super successful. But I just wanted to show you these guys as well, because you can understand as well that, you know, people are also learning from the beginning, and that's totally fine, right? Like Morgan here passed the 10k. He's only been in for a month, right? But in 1 month, he's already passed the 10k account, which, like I said here at the beginning, right, of challenge accounts, if he can pass the 10k, he can pass 100k, right? So he has the skill set because he's learned the strategy which I teach him, right? Now this is Kimran here, or K's FX. She's passed the phase 1 of 100k with ACG. And then Tony here is 100k funded. Tony's crazy, bro. Tony was able to get 100k funded in 1 month, right? Literally the first month he joined my inner circle, we got 100k funded. Like, it was mad. So I just thought I'd show you guys that. Not to show off, but just to show you that everyone is like normal, bro. People think that, you know, you got to be some crazy genius to become a trader. You don't, man. Like, look, guys, look. All of these guys in my community, right? You know, they might not all be profitable, but they're all trying. They're all actually trying to make it. And that's what's important. You need to put in effort. Without effort, there's no success. And, you know, it's also important to have a community like this, okay? I had a community when I learned. I now have my own community because it helps people learn. If you are going to make money, you want to make money together as a group. That's the best thing, because you can have friends inside the community who help you on your journey, right? Everyone here is killing it, or they will be killing it, and they can all win together, right? You don't want to win on your own. You want to win as a group, as a family, okay? And that's why I hosted this event. That's why I put thousands of dollars into this event. Thousands of dollars, right? And I charged nothing for the event. The event was free for my members, right? And I'll be doing more later. But, you know, it's because it's a family. It's because I want everyone to actually have a good experience of learning how to trade and not just be, you know, scammed and given signals which are just utter bullshit, bro, right? I'm going so off topic here, so if you're still with me, guys, I appreciate it. But yeah, and also, guys, by the way, if anyone is looking to join my inner circle, I'm going to break it down quickly in like a minute or so, okay? It's basically a community where my goal is to make you a $10,000 or more every single month from trading, okay? Using a simple and very, very profitable strategy, which, as you can see, all of these people here use, I use, and trust me, guys, it works, okay? Step 1 is literally to level up your life, change your mindset, become a savage, and I help you to do this. I've got a whole course on psychology, which is literally dedicated to changing your mindset, to cutting out bad habits, to starting good ones, right? To getting the mindset of a successful trader, right? Which people don't speak about enough, okay? People just give you a course on a strategy and they just throw it at you and they think, okay, that's it. Just learn this and that's enough. But if you're a loser, if you've got bad habits, there's no point in you even learning. And that's why I really do push this on you, right? I wouldn't even class it as like a just trading mentorship. I'd say this is also like lifestyle mentorship as well, right? Now I'm not some life advice guru, right? By no means. I've got loads of bad habits myself, but I do really advocate, you know, doing this as well, actually becoming a better person and leveling up your habits so that you can actually learn the strategy, right? And then, of course, step number 2 is to learn the strategy, right? I've got so many videos teaching how to do this, probably like over 100 videos on strategy stuff, right? Every day I trade live. Every Sunday I do Sunday analysis. So before I recorded this video, I just actually finished up with a Sunday analysis with my community, okay? I teach you so much other stuff, okay? Literally everything you could ever need. And then step 3 is becoming funded. I give you a free account to begin with. I teach you how to manage risk. And then, of course, you can start to stack funded accounts and live your dream life, Okay, that's the goal. And if you're looking to join the inner circle, right, then hit the link below in the description. One of the links below will be to my website, and you can apply on the website, book a call with my team, and they'll explain to you the entire process and everything like that. And hopefully I see you inside, guys, because honestly, my goal is to host more events like this, give away more crazy stuff, even more crazy than $1 million of challenge accounts, okay? And become the biggest trader with the best community, right? My goal isn't just to make money. My goal is to actually help people as well, okay? And one day I do hope that everyone here will be trading full time. That's my goal. So if you're looking to join, the link will be in the description, and hopefully I see you guys inside. If you enjoyed this video, please just drop a like, because this is 40 minutes of straight value, like literally straight value. And if you're at university, I wish you luck. I do wish you luck. You can either take action, or you can decide that you would rather just be in the same position for the rest of your life. It's up to you, okay? But hopefully you make the right decision. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.